Yo, I'm not sure everything is turned up. Sounds like everything's super low right now. Basically, so I can hear myself. All right, looks like we better. Looks like we better. Almost. I think my mic is down. All right. Sounds like we are good to go. Sounds like we're good to go. All right, so your boys officially back. It's been a little while since I done did one of these bad boys. I'm really trying to get into the habit of doing this a lot more often. If anybody is new here, if anybody is returning, please hit that like button. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Um, if you're in the Marvel, DC content, trailer reactions, please support the channel. Definitely subscribe. So, I got some topics I did want to talk about, but I see we got our first comment already from Ricky Manor saying Superman ain't been right since Christopher Reeve. For real, I actually like Henry Cavill's Superman. I know it wasn't great. I know it wasn't I don't know what the right word to describe it. I know it wasn't great, but I actually like his Superman. Anyway, Christopher Reeve is gonna be my Superman first, then Henry Cavill. It's just how I call it. It's just how I call it. So I'm looking at it on the camera, just trying to see how everything looks, and it actually looks pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. So, all right, let's see here. Let's go ahead and jump to the next thing. Oh, before I continue, just so y'all know, as of this video, your boy is 52 hours away from reaching a YouTube partner, or whatever you want to call it when you reach the 3,000 watch hour threshold. So please keep supporting the channel, help me reach that goal. Like I said, I am 52 hours away as of this video. I'm hoping my hours keep going up. I've been trying not to check them every single 5 seconds, man, but it has been difficult just to see how close I am. Also, let me know how I'm sounding on the mic. Give me a thumbs up if it sounds good, thumbs down if it sounds bad. And let's go ahead and jump into it. So there's something I did want to talk about because I did have some topics. I did have some topics. Let me see. One of them, let me bring this up real quick. Bring this up real quick if I can find it. I can find it. If I can find it, if I can find it. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. So one of the things we gotta talk about, man, is probably gonna be kind of hard to see here, but hopefully y'all can see it. Hopefully y'all can see it. Let's see here. See share screen. Blah 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 blah. Okay, I think y'all can see it. So as y'all can see here on the screen, we got a picture of Nicholas Glazine. I think that's his name. And this is the first thing I want to talk to y'all about because obviously, as you can see here, this is our new He-Man. Okay, this is our new He-Man. And yeah, I don't know what to really say, man. It's about the best picture that we can get. But as you can see, this is a really skinny looking He-Man. I mean, he does have the look as far as like the hair, the sword. I'm sure the costume is gonna be fitted, but he's a really skinny He-Man. And the funny thing about this is I watched the 4KO's he's a YouTuber. I watched his comments on this. And dude had me cracking up laughing because he was talking about where's the beef. Basically asking, why is his version of He-Man so damn skinny? And as you can see, man, yeah, he's super skinny, man. I know we ain't got a chance to look at him from the front side yet, but I highlight out that that's really gonna make that much of a difference just looking at him. He just looks like a super skinny He-Man. Now, I'm not the most knowledgeable on He-Man. I did I did watch He-Man back in the early 2000s, and I know that that was something completely different from the 80s TV show that came out decades ago. And then they brought back the continuation of it recently, I believe, in the last 2 or 3 years on Netflix. So I kind that's just about as much as I know about He-Man. But I did like the TV show back in the early 2000s, and then of course I did like the He-Man TV show they had on Netflix recently. And just to see Nicholas Glazine as He-Man, I mean, hopefully it's gonna be good. I know they did a live action He-Man movie back in the 80s, with the guy who played Ivan Drago in Rocky 4, I believe. Anyway, yeah, so we got a new He-Man, y'all, and I don't know. Like I said, when you see him in the pictures where he's in the street, where he has clothes on, obviously, he looks like he got some build to him. And then you see him like this, and he looks really, really skinny. So it's just, I don't know. I guess we're just gonna have to see it in live action. We need to see a trailer. We need to see a trailer. So that's what that we need to see a trailer. We need to see a trailer. Moving on to the next topic, unless nobody has anything to say about that. What's the next topic we can switch on to here? Because I got a few topics. So I was studying, looking up some things we could talk about here. Um, yeah, I was trying to think of some topics, and let me see if I can find the next topic. The next topic. Okay, Ironheart trailer and the schedule. So this was a big one. So the Ironheart trailer and the schedule. So nobody seems to ever like any of the Ironheart trailers. I've actually enjoyed them. They've actually been kind of entertaining to me. The one thing I feel like has kind of been an issue is like n- the fact that Disney pretty much forgot that I guess this TV show existed. Disney pretty much forgot that this TV show existed. Okay, they pretty much stuck this thing in the back of the folder, and maybe they just happened to find it and said, "Okay, we got to present this to the people." Because how in the world did y'all forget that this thing was supposed to drop? How? It makes absolutely zero sense to me. How in the world y'all forgot this thing was supposed to drop? And then on top of that, I seen the schedule on John Campion's show, and he was like, they're putting out all 3 episodes in it's 6 episodes, right? But they're putting out 3 episodes on one day and all 3 episodes on another. So they're basically completely just throwing this thing out there without doing it like they've done the other shows, where it's been basically a week to week basis, which I think is pretty crazy. But I think they're just rushing to get this out because they just want to get it out of the way and have nothing to do with it after that, which I think is kind of too little, too late. And for whatever reason, nobody seems to really care for the trailers, and I think the trailers have been interesting. The only thing is they got this dude in there. I don't know what his name is. He gets all this makeup on. I've seen the pictures on social media. I don't know what his name is, but yeah, that I don't know. That's the only thing that's kind of rubbing me the wrong way. But I guess we have to wait and see how that turns out. So yeah, this show, honestly, I'm looking forward to it. You know what I'm saying? And I hope that is gonna be good. I know Marvel is trying to keep the main big movies separated from the TV shows. So we'll see how this all plans out. We'll see how this all plans out. But yeah. So I'm kind of flying through these topics here a little quickly. So getting into the next one, we got to talk about Fantastic Four First Steps. This is something I'm not really even excited to see. I haven't even checked the tickets to see how things look in my area for this movie. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of tickets available. I don't think a lot of people are jumping up to see this thing that much. I'm on a scale from 1 to 10. I would definitely give it probably a 6 on how excited I am to see this. I got to be honest with you, okay? I'm probably at a 6 right now on my excitement to see this. Mainly because like I said, I've never been a big Fantastic Four fan. I was into the cartoon as a kid. Maybe when I actually get a chance to see this, it will make me interested to see it. But right now my interest is really low. Maybe the closer we get, maybe the more amped up I'll get. But right now, I'm just really at a 6 when it comes to my excitement to watch it. And it is what it is. It is what it is. I know people were kicking it on the recent clip that they had where you saw them attack for go after some creature, and I guess the CGI looked bad, but it's just a TV ad, I believe, for Little Caesars Pizza, right? So it wasn't nothing crazy out there. Like I said, anybody jumping in, please hit the like button. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. Your boy is trying to continue to grow the channel, trying to reach my goal of 2,000 YouTube subscribers. I believe I'm 120 subs away, and I am 52 hours away from reaching 3,000 watch hours. So please support your boy's channel and do those things. Hit that like and subscribe button. So the one thing I did want to talk about when it came to Marvel is the sauce here. Okay, Marvel has got to change the sauce. It's like everybody has been constantly watching Marvel do the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. It's like eating the same food for years and years and years and years and years. You eat the same thing for 3 or 4 days. It's like eating Thanksgiving food, right? You're gonna get tired of eating after a while because you've been eating it for the past 3 or 3 days, and now it's like it ain't as good, right? So it's like Marvel has got to do the same thing when it comes to the MCU. They have got to change the sauce. They got to go in some kind of completely new direction. They got to make things what's what I'm trying to think of here. They gotta just make it so people don't really understand kind of what's going on. Like they gotta make it unpredictable. That's what I'm trying to find. Marvel has got to make this unpredictable because they've made everything so predictable. It got fans, I think, just kind of uninterested. And I do think the age of superhero films has started to wane. I don't know how this is going to affect Superman. I'll talk about that a little later. But Marvel, y'all gotta change the sauce, okay? Fans are not super excited about what y'all doing with the MCU, and it's like you can't just put together a movie and slap the Marvel logo on it and think that that's gonna get fans interested. It's not. Nobody really seems to care about the MCU right now, and it's just really disappointing. It's just really disappointing. You know what I'm saying? So you've got to work on, a new sauce. Try and switch things up, man. Keep fans guessing because obviously things have not been going great since Avengers after Avengers Endgame. Everything post Avengers Endgame, almost everything just has not been keeping fans interested. And this is where I think Marvel needs to just switch that sauce up. Like everybody already kind of knows what to expect when it comes to the MCU, right? We already kind of know what to expect, and that's the problem. Marvel needs to switch up that sauce so fans don't know what to expect anymore. It's just gotten to a point where it's just not as fun and not as interesting. I'm more interested in what DC is doing, mainly because it's new and it's fresh, versus what Marvel is doing. Maybe it's just because with Marvel, there's really no kind of straightforward plan trying to get to the next big bad, which is Doctor Doom, obviously, and obviously we know they pushed the movies back because things just haven't been going good over there in the MCU. And anybody coming in, definitely hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. Like I said, hit the like button. Give me a second here. Hit the like button and subscribe if you are new here. I'm trying to do this more often, mostly on Sundays. I might switch the times. I know I said I was doing it on Saturday, but I might do it on Sundays, probably around like 12:30 if I'm up around that time. um just to make it easier, and maybe like 2 to 2:30. I'll see how it works out, but this is something I'm trying to get more into the habit of doing, especially since I'm getting close to hitting that 3K watch hours. Hopefully it opened the door for a super chat, super stickers. We'll see in the future, but for right now, nothing. So like I said, Marvel, change the sauce. Okay, change the freaking sauce because y'all have been whooping up the same sauce for years. Fans have gotten tired of it, and you need to go in a new direction where instead of fans being able to kind of predict what happens, y'all got to make it more unpredictable. It's like, I get it. Y'all want to make this fan friendly product so y'all can sell toys and all that good stuff, which is nothing wrong with that. But I think y'all need to make a little bit, just a tiny bit shade of dark, man, because things have just gotten a little too family friendly. You've got villains who aren't being taken out. They're just kind of either getting away or they are trying to redeem them, and it's just not working out. So Marvel, change up the sauce and try and figure out some new ways to get fans interested in the MCU again, because obviously things have not been going great for y'all currently. So if anybody has any comments on that, please throw y'all 2 cents in the comment section. Let me know about anything I've covered. I've only covered two topics so far, which is the new He-Man look, which obviously Nicholas, I'm sorry if I pronounced your last name wrong, Glazine looks really damn skinny. And then of course talking about what's going on with the MCU. So those are the topics I've covered so far. And like I said, Marvel got to change their new sauce. Getting into the fourth topic of today, I know I'm kind of getting through this pretty quickly. The Punisher officially announced for Spider-Man Brand New Day. Now, this is very interesting because I'm kind of 50-50 about this, all right? In one hand, I think it's very interesting because obviously we're getting Frank Castle back on the big screen again, which I think could be a really good thing. But at the same time, it's like everybody still wants to see Spider-Man have his own adventures, do his own thing without having to be teamed up over and over and over. And that's the direction I thought we are really going to go into with this new brand new day movie. Because obviously everybody forgot, or everybody, didn't forget, but they pretty much got taken out of their heads who Spider-Man is. And I guess that doesn't still stop the team ups because obviously the Punisher is not going to know that Peter Parker is Spider Man, right? So to me, I would rather have him by himself, and it kind of makes me kind of wish just a tiny bit that Sony would have got the rights back, so we could have got a Spider Man again by himself without all the Tony Stark tech. I think it would have been cool to see, right? But unfortunately, that's not the direction that we're going in. We are getting Spider-Man teamed up with the Punisher, and then from what the rumors are saying, it's supposed to have something to do with the Incredible Hulk. Okay, so we're supposed to be getting the Incredible Hulk in this movie, but it's not the smart Incredible Hulk. He's supposed to be going back to like that savage Incredible Hulk, which I'm all for. And I was thinking about this last night. Marvel has got to, if they want to try, okay, the key word here is try to redeem the Hulk. They have got to make him the big badass once again. Okay, they got to give him some major parts in some of these movies, even as a savage going into the future of the MCU, because it's like since y'all pretty much made him a joke, going into the Thanos storyline, it's like fans don't take his character seriously anymore, okay? And so it's like, why should we invest into the Hulk being in the storyline, even if he's savage, when y'all pretty much watered this character down going up against Thanos? Now, if he would have got his get back against Thanos in Endgame, we would have a completely different, it would be a completely different storyline. It's almost like when you talk about it's almost like when you talk about how He Who Remains, Jonathan Major's character, right, got beat by a bunch of ants. If he would have beat Ant Man in that first movie, left him in the quantum realm, and Ant Man would have to struggle to get out again, we would have a completely different story. But no, you decided to let him get beat by a bunch of ants and it completely watered down his character and made people not take him seriously. Now, I still enjoyed Jonathan Major's acting and character in the Loki season 1 and 2, but as far as him being the big bad, it just didn't feel right or look right going into what they were trying to do, moving forward. So again, when you look at what's going on, excuse me, with the Incredible Hulk, obviously making him the big bad again is a start. Well, not the big bad, but making him savage, the what he was pre um Professor Hulk is a good start. But they gotta redeem his character. They gotta redeem his character. They gotta, make him just a badass. You know what I'm saying? They got to figure out how to redeem his character because just having him walk around and be this soft as character just doesn't make it fun or interesting. But making him back to his old self is a start. I don't know why the hell they introduced this kid. I believe that was in She-Hulk. It made absolutely no sense. That they never should have did that. It was just a joke at this point. No one's taking that damn thing seriously. Like I said, anybody coming in, please hit the like and subscribe button. So yeah, Marvel again, change the sauce, make these things unpredictable again. Everything again is to sell toys. You want to make it family friendly, but at the same time, it's like people are just not tapping into what the MCU is doing, and even like y'all had to go back. And I know I'm kind of going back here a little bit, but y'all had to go back and get stars of yesterday with Chris Evans most likely coming back next year, at least that's what the reports are saying in some capacity. And then, of course, you have Robert Downey Jr. playing the new big bad Doctor Doom. Y'all couldn't build the new Avengers. It was like I related to wrestling, right? It's like every single time you get to WrestleMania season, you get old stars of yesterday coming back because for whatever reason WWE could not focus or could not build new stars, so they had to go get Undertaker. They had to go get Brock Lesnar, The Rock, all of these guys, Stone Cold Steve Austin, to bring attention to the big show, right? And that's basically kind of similar to what is going on right now. They're bringing stars back of yesteryear to give this new Doomsday movie life, and it's just kind of like, all right, whatever. That's what we got because they've been struggling to build new stars. They even had to bring the Russos back because they couldn't get anybody to direct the new Avengers movies, which I don't think the Russos were the worst option. Obviously, they did great with the last two movies and Captain America. I forgot the one with Chris Evans. I forgot the title. I know it's Captain America. I just forgot the title. Excuse me. So anyway, that's that. But like I said, Marvel got to change the sauce, and I think adding Punisher to this new movie is going to be fun. But at the same time, they've got to if they're gonna have Incredible Hulk in it, they gotta focus on making they gotta focus on redeeming the Hulk going into the future, starting with this movie because he needs to be redeemed. He's been a joke after Avengers Endgame. I didn't really care for the whole Professor Hulk thing. I know a lot of people will really want who was the other guy who played the Incredible Hulk? I gotta look this up. I can't think of his name, but there was somebody else who played the Incredible Hulk and he did a really good job. I actually liked the way his Incredible Hulk looked way more than Mark Rufield's Hulk. It took a huge adjustment. Um, it took a huge adjustment. You know. going from that Hulk to this one. But I'm trying to see. Edward Norton, yeah, Edward Norton's Hulk was such a badass. He looked like he could take on Thanos versus Mark Rufio's Hulk. I just something about Mark Rufio's Hulk ever since they watered him down, even before that, I just wasn't feeling the look. I adjusted to it. I said, okay, it is what it is. He's the Hulk, but I still liked Edward Norton's Hulk. You know what I'm saying? So that's that. Um, so yeah, we are getting the Punisher in the new Spider-Man movie. I believe a lot of people are split on it. Some are 50-50, mainly because we are not getting a standalone Spider-Man film with him by himself. And that is what a lot of people thought we were finally getting, myself included, a standalone Spider-Man film where we weren't getting to team up. And obviously, that is not the case. And it's leaving some people disappointed, but it is what it is. It's what Marvel wants to do. They want to throw out every single they just want to throw out every single team up that they possibly can. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Um I try not to read too much into what's going on with a lot of these future movies because I do want to be on the outside looking in. And I feel like if you got, if people looking up every scoop, every story, trying to figure out everything that's going on, especially in this day and age with the internet being what it is and people posting pictures of behind the scenes and people getting in costumes, it does take away a lot of the fun because you want to go into the theater being surprised. So I try not to read too much about what's going on with these movies and just try to keep myself in the dark. So, let's move on to the next topic here. I'm trying to make sure everything looks good while I'm still streaming here. Everything looks still good. So, all right, moving on to the next topic here, which is the big one. Superman box office dropping. So, as a lot of y'all know, man, the Superman box office, at least the numbers have been reported, have been up and down, up and down, up and down. And lately, things have just been dropping. I think it's like 90 to 125 million. And I was looking at tickets in my area. And as far as I can see, there's still a lot of tickets for the Thursday opening. And even the Thursday opening, I believe the last one, like a 9 o'clock at a Regal Theater not far from me, that one still has all its seat available. I don't see one seat in a 9 o'clock showing that's unavailable. Which, if it was me, I'll try to get to the early showing as well, except for the IMAX showing. That thing is about 53 freaking dollars. There's no way in hell I'm trying to come out of pocket 50 damn dollars to go see this movie. They better have rolled out the red damn carpet. They better have hit with some perks for people that are paying that much money to see this movie in IMAX, okay? Because that is a lot of money to pay for a movie ticket. But you're looking at the theaters, looking at the times, a lot of the times still have plenty of seats available. I'm hoping that this movie really does well. There has been some bad CGI I've seen since going back and watching the trailer. There's some stuff people have pointed out, such as when Superman is using his laser eyes and he's doing it in a circle. There's parts where the cape kind of like disappears and you kind of see the back of his suit and things like that. There's the flight where he's flying and it looks like he's just like stretched out like a rubber band. You have maybe a few other scenes in there. I can't think of it off the top of my head where it just kind of looks not that good. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just hoping that this thing does well in the box office. I'm hoping this thing does well in the box office for real. Like I said, if anybody coming in, hit that like and subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know how I sound on the mic because I can't tell right now. I have to wait until after I'm done. But yeah. So, like I said, I really hope things work out when it comes to this new Superman film because I think everybody is hoping, well, not everybody, but some fans, I ain't gonna say just the Snyder fans, but some fans are thinking if this thing fails, that we're gonna get Henry Cavill and Zack Snyder back, and that's not the case. I believe there's gonna be a huge shift, but who knows how that's gonna happen? Who knows how that's gonna affect the DCU going forward if this movie does bad going forward because um yeah, they need to win. You know, DC needs to win. I want to win. You know what I'm saying? Thanks, man. Hey, bro, you need a good thing, I'm a designer. Yeah, I know. So, um, yeah, just letting y'all know straight up and down, man. This has got to do good in theaters. It has to because if it doesn't, it's gonna be bad for the DCU. And I really want to see the DCU get a win. I really do. Because obviously, if this doesn't do good, then it's probably not going to look at it a good property to be used. Because I know they got the whole possibly Warner Bros. Being sold out to Sony thing. And if that happens, and if Sony feels like, oh well, this thing ain't working out, they could put DC to bed for years and years and years and years and years to come, and that could be a bad thing. That could be a bad thing because obviously, you know, we don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen. I want to see DC get some wins under their belt because we've been dealing with everything that was going on with the DCEU and obviously Marvel kicking butt for years and years and years. I want to see DC step up and show Marvel that they're coming back better than ever so that it'll light a fire under Marvel's ass to do better. I think with Marvel, with them not having any competition, they've just been kind of just, running in circles. And obviously it shows and they need to really take their time and get their ducks in order. And that's what I'm hoping with the DCU is that they come hard with the Superman film because they don't have any other choice. I think some of the marketing has been good lately. Some of it has been questionable. I know we've seen a lot of tweets coming out of the James Gunn factory and stuff like that, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm super excited. I ain't got my tickets yet. I will get them eventually. I don't think this movie is going to sell out by the time I get there. So I think I could. I think I'd be straight if I don't get him immediately. Like I said, I wanted to see the IMAX, but that is super damn expensive. And I think the only thing that's kind of concerning people right now is what is the box office numbers when it comes to this film because obviously they got to make their money back, not just making this movie, but with the marketing as well. I do think it was a good idea that James Gunn decided, we're not going to bring in a bunch of big name actors to play a lot of these characters. We're going to try and get some middle to low name actors because I think, in my opinion, sometimes it's hard to see certain actors when they've been stuck in one role for so long and put them in something else. It's hard to see them as that other role because they've been that one role for so long. And it's like bringing Chris Pratt over from the MCU over to the DCU. He's played Star-Lord for so long. Unless they put some makeup on his face or cover up his face or do something like that, it would be hard to see him as any other character in the DCU. So that's just my 2 cents on that. And I think it's a good idea that he brought in low names actors. The one thing I kind of wish that he did do was I wish that he would have just made this Superman film without all the extra people in it. Like I get it. You know what I'm saying? You can't really have this be a Superman film and have what James Gunn said, have all these different superheroes in this world and then have them not take part in the conflict when it happens. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, where was Hawkman, Hawk Girl, what was Green Lantern? Where was all these different characters? Won't need them. Not everybody could have been busy all at the same time, right? Somebody would have had to show up. So I do understand why James Gunn had him take part in the conflict because you can't have this world already inhabited by superheroes and then have them all busy and Superman stuck by himself. I mean, maybe it's possible. We've seen it in other movies the Flash. Well, nope, that was the team up with the Batman. So never mind. Wrong, wrong one. Well, then again, we did have Aquaman do his own thing. So technically, it is possible to have a superhero film where you have that superhero have his own adventure without having a big team up and then have everybody else show up eventually as movies continue to progress. So, you know, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I do want to see this universe take off and do good. I've seen so many reports. Some people are rooting for it. Some people are not fans of James Gunn and his directing style. They call it goofy, juvenile, and stupid. And hopefully he at least tried to go in a different direction because this isn't Guardians of the Galaxy, which is I've seen like people talk about Guardians of the Daily Planet because you got was it Perry, you got Lois, you got Superman's best pal, forgot his name. They're all on that ship, right? And it does kind of give off Guardians of the Galaxy vibes. And it actually gives off Guardians of the Galaxy vibes, and it also gives off what was the other one? Blue Beetle, because they ride in the ship that kind of looks in a small way similar to that ship, which I didn't like Blue Beetle at all. I don't know why the old regime greenlit that movie, but that's another video for another day. So yeah, we got this new Superman film and it's coming. And I think at this point in time, with all the posters and everything, I think everybody's getting tired of seeing it. I think everybody's getting tired of talking about it. I think people just want to see the film now and just move forward with what is going on. And speaking of new posters, let me look this up. Let me look this up. So we got the new Superman poster, and a lot of people said that it looks similar to, I think, one of the older Superman posters from like the. It's like a retro themed poster, right? Okay, so they're saying they paid homage to the '78 classic, but it just makes it feel like James Gunn does not have a single good um idea in his body. You know what I'm saying? But let me bring this up real quick. Let me bring this up real quick so y'all can see it. Hopefully I can zoom in. It doesn't look like it, but I think this is still good enough that y'all can actually see it. So let me bring up this poster because a lot of people say they pay homage to the '78 poster, and yeah, everybody says it pays homage to the '78 poster. Let's see here. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, cool. Y'all can see that. Y'all can see that. Good, good, good. And I hate advertisements and videos. It really bothers me. So yeah, as y'all can see, we got the '78 poster right here, and you got Superman right there where it says "It begins." And as you can see, all the other characters down there at the bottom. I do kind of like the old style of the poster. I wish it would have had him flying. I do like the look of the cape flapping in the background. I do like the background; it looks beautiful. But I just wish that James Gunn would have been more creative and give us something. I don't know, just more where he's flying. I think the first poster that he has looks really good. I'm still not a big fan of the suit, especially looking at it from the side with the big trunks, the big buckle, and all these kind of lines, design patches. It just doesn't look good to me at all. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Then of course, like I said, you got all the other characters here at the bottom. Um, a lot of people, like I said, have talked about the marketing for this movie. They've talked about they've talked about just the clips. This recent clip, I don't know if it's just for marketing purposes or if it's in the movie, but there's a line where I guess Superman tells Lex Luthor that his obsession with him is, I forgot how he put it, but it just looks, people are just clowning everything about this movie. The flights, the fights, the advertising, the marketing, they're just saying everything looks cheap, it looks bad, and in some ways they're not wrong. In some ways they're not wrong. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see. We got less than a few weeks before we get to that point, so we're just gonna have to wait and see what's up before we get to that movie. Before we get to this movie, like I said, I'm still super stoked about it. I just hope the focus is kept on Superman, and we don't have it, you don't have Superman kind of be a background character in his own film because the title of this movie is Superman. So we hope that he gets to be a big focal point. So anybody coming in, these are some of the things I've covered so far. The Nicholas Glazine, sorry if I pronounced your name wrong here. The new He-Man picture going around. I didn't have a chance to talk about this in any videos, so I want to talk about it now. And then of course you have Ironheart, the trailer I talked about a little bit, the schedule, which is crazy because we're getting um her shows her shows are her shows are going to be, put out on 2 different days, all 3 episodes each day, and it's not going to be 1 week like it has been in the past. So which is pretty crazy to me. And then I talked about the Fantastic Four first steps where Marvel needs to get a new sauce. Yeah, Marvel needs to get a new recipe. I need to get a new sauce. Things have just not been going great when it comes to the MCU, and fans just have not been super excited. And I think they need to try and make things more unpredictable than predictable, and that's one of the things that's been hurting the MCU. So we have to wait and see about that in the future they decide to go with. What else can we talk about here? The Punisher. Like I said, the Punisher will officially be joining the MCU's Spider-Man movie, which I think is interesting. But at the same time, I know fans want to see a Spider-Man standalone film, which is what I want to see. But for whatever reason, Marvel is not giving us that, and we are just gonna have to be dealing with another team up film. I hope somewhere down the line, maybe the second or third film, he has this film by himself. But right now, we're getting a big superhero team up film, and that just is what it is. It is what it is. And then, of course, our last topic was Superman. Um, of course, the box office numbers dropping. It was super high, I believe, at the beginning of the month, and then it started to drop, 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 drop. So we really won't officially know what the numbers are until the movie hits theaters. I'm really concerned if this movie does bad because, like I said, it'll completely alter what James Gunn is doing over there at the DCU. And speaking of James Gunn over at the DCU, I did want to talk about this as well. It felt like 2 years ago he had a direction, and it feels like now his direction kind of has gotten a little lost. It's gotten a little muddy because we know we got Superman, right? Then you also for some reason we got a Clayface movie with no Batman, so it's just gonna be a standalone Clayface movie, which I don't think nobody is gonna want to see. And then of course you have what is it? Supergirl, which was Supergirl Women of Tomorrow, which I was completely fine with that title. I like it. But for some reason now we just got a title as Supergirl. So, you know, we just gonna have to wait and see what James Gunn is doing with this MCU. I mean, excuse me, DCU, not MCU, DCU. And it just to me, it feels like he's kind of just greenlighting random projects. I almost forgot we still got the Green Lantern TV show coming out most likely next year. But it just feels like at this point he's just greenlighting a bunch of projects. It doesn't really feel like there's any type of direction. I know he's not trying to do things the same way Marvel did it, where they gave you, Iron Man and then Thor and then Captain America and then then they got the big superhero team of him. He's kind of going in this weird direction where he's giving us these B-list characters in this world with Superman. And there was something I said before where I've said how I think that they should have got the end movie before they did this big, superhero team up thing going on. And obviously, I was wrong because when you think about it, a lot of these characters aren't big household names like, Hawk Girl or, the Green Lantern that we got in this film. These people aren't really household names among the general audience, so it wouldn't make sense for them to get their movie. I think it is okay that they appear in this new Superman film and then, just go from there with team ups and stuff. And then I almost forgot, we do got Peacemaker coming out, I believe later on this year. So yeah, just a very unorthodox style that James Gunn is going with here that I think everybody is going to have to adjust to. And hopefully, this man is still following his Bible that he's been working on for a couple of years, and he gives us some type of direction. I know there's been talks, at least from people, with rumors from fans saying, "Hey, we could possibly get a big crossover team up in the future with DC and Marvel." I'm not gonna lie, if we got that team up, we should have got it back when, at least if the DC EU was still doing good, we should have got it then with the Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans and Chris Hemsworth with that cast and with Henry Cavill and that Batman with them, that would have shattered box office records for the next 10, 20, 30 years. But I don't know if they can do that with this new Superman storyline, especially with the MCU not doing as good as it is. I don't know if people are really going to give a damn. I'm just giving it to you honestly. But anyway, I'm probably staying here for a couple more minutes. Doesn't look like we're getting anybody in here today, except for a couple people. I see Hybrid Hunters asks, "Hey, bro, you need a good thumbnail designer." So I don't know if you're asking or if you're suggesting. If you're suggesting, I completely understand. I've been working on it. I know thumbnails ain't always been good, but they're a work in progress. Um, but unless you're asking, hey, man, let me know in the comment section, or hit me up with my emails and I'll go from there. So anyway, I feel like this was a pretty cool stream. Like I said, I'll try and have future streams, uh, maybe a little sooner, probably around 12, 12:30, maybe a little later, around 2:30, and we'll just go from there. But I appreciate everybody who can stop by, who will stop by. Like I said, I'm on the road to reaching that 52 more watch hours to reach 3,000 watch hour goal, and about 120 subs away from reaching um 2,000 YouTube subscribers. So thank you anybody in the future who stops by. I know I haven't been doing these a lot lately, but I definitely try and do these as often, especially with trying to get my channel monetized in the future. So definitely be on the lookout next Sunday for the next stream, probably 12, 12:30 or 2, 2:30. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, thank you all for stopping by. I'm gonna go and end the stream. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.